surround off, surround on, surround off, surround on. Mic on.
All right. What is up? I am back to instruct another tutorial, another art class, another paint night, if you will. Unfortunately, due to our circumstances, I won't be able to do them in person for a little bit, but hopefully, we get back to normal life and hopefully, we'll get to start enjoying each other's company once again very soon. So I am Edwin Zambrano. I will be instructing you guys today. And today we will be painting this. So it's just some mountain scenery, abstract mountain scenery. Um, so yeah, only colors you'll be using is blue, white, black. That's it. That's all you'll be using today. Um, I'm gonna guess this painting might take about an hour, maybe hour and a half. But we'll see. So kind of a lengthy stream, but hopefully you guys could follow along. And if you have any questions, please jump in the chat and ask me some questions, or DM me, or hit me up through Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. If you have my phone number, hit me up, whatever. um, so yeah, let's get started. Let's get everything going. I'm gonna make it small down below, and then I am going to hide my face. Actually, hold on really quick. Okay. Sorry, I had to do that really quick or else it was gonna bug me. Okay, awesome. All right, I think we're good to go. The lighting should brighten up a little bit more once we start putting some paint on my camera. All right, let's see. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna draw these rays. Um, we're just gonna start off with the placement. So grab yourself a pencil, a marker. Um, if you just want to use some paint, use something light, that won't show through when you're painting over it. So don't use a marker, probably. A pen, you can use a pen. Um, yeah, anything to get this sketch going. All we're gonna do is draw those three. We're gonna place those three rays that are gonna be in the sky. So make this like your center point. It's about a fourth of the canvas, and we're just gonna use that point as a vanishing point, so that we know what direction the rays are gonna go into. Okay. So we're just gonna do three. You could do them straight, you could do them curved. I want to do mine curved. You could do yours straight, and you'll get the same effect. It'll just look a little bit different in the background, but it's okay. So yeah, let's draw them out. So do that, and then you're gonna draw another one into that same point. Okay, doesn't need a touch or anything, just in that vicinity, because we are gonna cover this area with mountains. So yeah, all this area right here is gonna be covered up with mountains. So don't worry if it's not touching the vanishing point. Um, yeah, let's continue. Let's keep going. do want them to be fat on the outsides and then to come in thinner as they get closer to the vanishing point. Um, and then you could do this, you don't have to do this, but I'm just going to like scribble in the areas that are going to be light. So this is inside of these areas is where the light blue is going to go. So I have a darker blue. Let's see. Yeah, it's pretty dark. It's not that light. So I'm gonna be adding a little bit of white. If you have a dark blue, add a little bit of white. Get a lighter color that's similar to the picture that's in the middle. So yeah. So take a look at the picture. And so the middle of those blue beams, you want to get like a similar white, not the lightest one, but the second to lightest tone in there. So I'll show you. I'm gonna mix up some paint, and I'll show you what tone I'm gonna be going for. But if you already have like a lighter blue, not a baby blue, but just a lighter blue, then don't worry about it. But yeah, just give me a second. I'm gonna get this going. Oh, and the brushes I am going to be using throughout this entire painting is going to be a flat brush and a thin tip or just a skinnier brush. Um, Hold on 1 second. Something's going on with my streaming.
Mic off. Mic on.
Alright, I think we're back. Sorry about that, guys. Um, yeah, something happened with my stream. Sorry about that. Anyways, um, yeah, let's continue. So like I was saying, um, oh yeah, these are the two brushes that I'm using. Just a flathead, about about an inch and a half, inch to inch and a half flathead. Still has blue from it on it. And then I'm just using a thin tip brush. And we're only going to use this for the white parts of the mountain, so don't, everything else is going to be done with this brush, so don't worry. Alright, so I'm going to mix up that blue. Excuse me. And you want to have a decent amount of blue. Alright, let's see how this looks. Alright. So you want to get this kind of blue going. It's like a lighter blue. Just a lighter tone of blue. We're still going to use that dark tone of blue, so if you don't have a dark tone of blue, don't worry. You'll just take some of the blue you have and add like a dab black to it, just to give it a darker shade. Um, because we're going to use that for the outsides of these rays. Okay, so let's start getting this lighter blue inside of these rays. So if you did the same thing I did and just kind of gave yourself a reminder as what's supposed to be painted, so yeah, just go through and just start painting. And just paint the insides of those for now. Hope everyone's being safe out there, man. It's crazy. We went shopping on what was it, Monday? And dang, dude, it was nuts. We went to Costco. That was a mistake. Nah, we had to get stuff though, so It was fine. It wasn't too terrible, but it was still pretty bad. And and I am brushing in the direction that the sky is moving, so it's all gonna be kind of like flaring upward. So all my paint strokes are just gonna be up and down. Especially when we start blending colors, you're gonna want it to go in the same direction um, that the sky is moving in, so that way it looks a little bit more natural, if you will. I guess believable might be the word I'm looking for. All right. Well, hopefully everybody's is at this point. I'm just kind of like just getting some of this excess paint off my brush. You don't have to do that, but um, and don't worry about washing your brush at this point. We're gonna use just all the tones of blue to help us blend a little bit. If you washed it, it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. If you didn't, then you don't have to. All right, so now we're gonna move on to the darker blue. So just to give you an idea of the darker blue, this is the difference between the two. It's probably easier if I put in that light on. So yeah, this is the difference. So like I said, if you do have like a lighter blue, just put a dab of black in there just to darken it up a little bit. Not too much black because then you're gonna overkill it with the black. So just put a dab at a time just to get it a little bit darker. You might have to add a little bit of that blue with it just to make sure that it keeps its um, blue pigmentation. Alright, so I'm gonna start attacking the sides now. So we're gonna start filling in these white parts. I'm gonna start down here in this bottom right corner. So I'm just simply underlining and using the fat side of my brush and just stroking back and forth against that line. And load your brush up pretty good with some paint. And just keep stroking up and down on that line until you get that blend going. Alright, so my blend looks fine right there. So I'm gonna start bringing it out. So start pushing off of that blend and start filling in the rest of this stuff down here. And you don't have to go all the way to the bottom of the canvas because, like I said, there's gonna be mountains right here, so this might even be unnecessary, but I mean, better safe than sorry. And it looks like this spread is starting to get lightened up, so we're just gonna come back and add some more dark blue. And that part you don't have to blend as much, just put that true blue paint on there. Alright, so I'm happy with that right there. Happy with the level it's at. Alright, so I'm gonna start on this side now. again on that line. Just go up and down. Keep doing the same motion up and down until it starts to blend on that edge. That looks fine, so I'm gonna start attacking the outside of it. And actually before, so yeah, so we made it about halfway there. We're gonna start hitting this side now. Just load it up with some paint. Let's start going at it. You gotta kind of blend it for a little bit, especially if it's starting to dry. The paint's gonna start getting a little tough on you, but it's all right. Because we're still gonna add white to the middle of that, and it'll help blend the rest together. So go ahead and finish your panels up here. If anybody has any questions, please let me know. Even if you watch this later, let me know. Be happy to help. Alright, cool. Dope. Nope. Alright, let's hit this other side up. Ooh, went too far, but it's alright. Kinda happy with that. Just a little bit more paint on there. Cool. So everything is still up and down. We're going with the motion of the rays. Just keep going. And if you have some imperfections going too, don't worry about it. Um, like I said, there's still gonna be some stuff going over this. We're just gonna add white inside the blue, and then we're gonna actually sprinkle some stars on top of the sky a little bit. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. 'Cause mine's not looking too perfect right now either. And we still have a hard line against the lighter beam. Go ahead and just try to just brush it out. Don't add any more paint. Just try to brush it out. Try to move that paint that's there already. That's what I'm having trouble with right now, but it's alright. It'll still come out dope. Let's get this side. We're almost done. We're almost done with doing this. And I'm not trying to be like extremely precise with every line I'm making or every stroke I'm doing. I'm just trying to get some paint on the canvas and just kind of let it lay the way it lays. I would say for this side, probably just shave in like this corner right here, and then you should be okay. Because we're probably gonna peak the mountains about here. So I would just take care of like this box right here. And it should probably be all right. The bottom, the rest of it will be a shadow of the mountain on the bottom. So I wouldn't worry about it. But filling the whole bottom half in. Try to work this line a little bit. I think it's about right. Yeah, should be good. Alright, so now what we'll do is we'll get white. And again, no reason to clean your brush off at this point. We're going to use it. So we're just gonna get some regular white. And we're gonna dip into this. And I would kind of dab a little bit and kind of create a line. And on these outsides with the white, you want it to be a little bit thicker, a little bit in there. But when you get to the center, make it thinner. See? And once you have that, then start brushing it in. You're just gonna let it all mix down the middle. You don't want there to be white, but just do it right in the center. And just go with the same motion of that line, because you want it to blend and go in that direction towards the center. I put like a big dash of white that I gotta blend out. Yep, just like that. So we'll go through it again. Dip it in white. And just dab it towards the top of that beam. Make a trail going down until you want it to stop. And make sure that that little beam is going to a thinner point. Just like that. And then you're just gonna brush it in. If yours looks a little chalky like mine, don't worry. If that starts to happen and it's too harsh, or the paint's drying and it just laid on top like it kind of did mine, let's go ahead and dip back into that original blue that you had for the backlight of those beams right there. So not the dark one, the in-between one, and just brush it right on top. And it'll start to blend all of it into it. Because you're just trying to focus on the centers here. And then once you got that tone back, you just brush it all back in. And like when I work against these edges, I'm turning the brush on its side, so that way it's vertical up and down, and I could get those work on those blending those edges there. Yep, pretty happy with that, so that's cool. Again, just dipping into white, and then dab it on there. I'm dabbing back into the other blue. Need to get some of that in there. Cool. this a little bit more. Too like in the way. And looked like that worked out, so. Alrighty, so here we are at this point. So now we're gonna sprinkle some stars on this. So what I want you to do now is, because now you have all this blue on your brush, so obviously rinse that out because we're gonna go into white and we don't want any blue tints in our white. So once you feel like you have the excess paint off that brush and it's just floating around in the water, when you're washing your brushes, what I want you to do is go change that water now because we need clean water to work with this white. Okay, so we'll reconvene in like 5 minutes.
Mic off. Mic on.
Alright, let's get in to these stars.
Mic off. Mic on.
Alright, so what you're gonna do now, it doesn't look like there's much blue in that white, so I could probably pull some. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Alright, so hopefully you washed your brushes, get some nice clean water. So what you want to do is take your fat brush and kind of dap off any water that's falling off of it still, but you want to have some water reserved into it, and you're just going to kind of press. Just get the water from your brush and grab some of that acrylic paint because you want it a little watery. Let's see. And then kind of dab it on the side, see how watery it is. This probably could use a little bit more water. So just take a dip into your cup and just kind of float around some more water in there. It's really, see? So I'm just doing this. And then you're gonna load your brush up with some white then, with that watery white. And you're gonna take a heavy brush. So I'll be using this brush. And the way you're gonna do this is you're gonna hold it vertical and you're gonna smack the brush across of it. So you're just gonna do wood to wood contact. Now, don't smack it super hard because then you're gonna have paint flying everywhere and you're not paint on your floor and stuff like that. You want to prevent that. You don't want people to end up with paint that are watching you. Who knows? Hopefully you're in some clothes that you don't mind getting dirty, because you will get like a backsplash. It will bounce back onto you. So, so yeah, let's go. Just don't smack it really hard. Give it a light tap and kind of ease your way into it. All right. But we're only gonna do stars across the top. You're gonna have some mist falling, and that's completely fine. But we're only focusing on the top. Okay. We're not going across the whole thing. So just the top. All right. And if you get some strings, don't worry about it. You'll get some that have like little tails on them, and that's fine because we're gonna blend those into the background and use them as like falling stars. Again, we're just focusing on the top. Okay, so I'm cool with that. Okay, so we won't need the other brush anymore. The flat brush. Well, at least right now, we're gonna use with the thin point right now. But so if you do have some of the strings like I have like dots with tails on them, blend them. But so use your finger and just rub them in, but go in the direction that they're falling in. So like these ones over here, I'm gonna come towards the middle. This is gonna come towards the middle.
Mic off. Mic on.
These are gonna come towards the middle. These are gonna come towards the middle. So whatever direction you smear in, have it go towards the center, okay? So I'm gonna do this one. And then just give it like a pretty good hard blend. You wanna really have it blend in with that blue in the background. See? I'll try to do one on this side. So now we're gonna get. I'll just leave those. I like those. Saw some extra stringies, but I kind of like them. So now we're gonna get the thin brush. We're gonna dab into some white. If you want to dab into that watery white, that's fine. Just conserve some paint. So at the ends of these like little falling stars, we're gonna add a solid white dot. Not a big one, just a dab, just like that. Okay. And now we're gonna add some bigger dots wherever you would like them. So just a dot. Don't do like a big old circle or anything. Just do a dot. Add a couple where you feel like it needs some. Just a dot. Just literally just pressing and moving. But make sure you want to keep it as a dot though. So you try to use like the tip of your paintbrush. All right, cool. So I'm pretty happy with that right now. I'm trying to make these little strings make sense of some sort. There you go. Cool. All right, so now what we'll do is we'll take our flat brush and now we're going to draw some mountains. Yo, it's all good, bruh. Yeah, go have a smoke, bruv. I'll be right here. Thanks, man. Appreciate you, dog. Good to see you, Panchito. Love you, man. Hit me up later. Go have a smoke and come say what's up to me, man. um, so yeah, so what we'll be doing now is moving on to the mountains. So we'll be coming from both sides of the edge. They don't need to be symmetrical. You don't need to do it at the same point. One could be lower, one could be a little higher. So we're gonna create 3 points. So we're gonna come up, then drop, and then you're gonna start your next point. The center point is gonna be somewhere. The biggest point of the mountains is gonna be somewhere towards your middle beam. So if it's a little off, it's not a big deal, but you're gonna try to get it as close to the center as you can. Okay. So start at your lower left corner, come up, and then do a slight drop, and shoot one a little bit towards this middle part. And then you'll drop that line, and then you'll draw one more peak. So draw up, draw down, and just go as to the right to your corner as you can. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and sketch mine out, and you can follow along. And we're gonna do this in black. So make sure you get your black paint. And if some of your black starts blending in with the blue, don't worry about it because it'll be a good use for some reflection from the sky. So don't worry too much if oop oop it gets me every time. Yeah, it's gonna be used as a reflection to the on the mountains from the sky. So the blue, little tiny tint of blue wouldn't be such a bad thing. Um, but if you don't get it, don't worry about it. It's not a must. Okay, so make sure you're working with the clean, flat brush. Alright, so I'm just gonna dip into it and go straight for it. Just loaded my brush up. You're just gonna sketch, so don't worry about these lines being perfect, alright? So we're just gonna sketch it out. mountain's supposed to be the highest. And then I wouldn't make them even. I'd either make your last mountain a little bit higher than your first or a little bit lower than your first. So I think I'm gonna go a little bit lower actually. So, but you're welcome to decide however you would like it to be. Okay, so that's it. And the middle peak of your mountain's supposed to go about almost halfway to your canvas. So that middle one is supposed to be about almost middle of your canvas level. So right under is where it should be. Okay, so once you have your sketch laid out, all you're gonna do is start putting that black over it. And like I said, if it starts blending in, don't worry about it. But you do want to fill it in all black. And I'm going left to right here. In my opinion, it's a lot easier to fill in with paint going left to right than up and down when you're painting acrylic. So, I mean, I paint in all directions, but when I'm filling in solid shapes, yeah, I'll just go left to right. And don't forget to use the small version of the painting on the screen as a reference. Don't worry if you go over your shape a little bit. It's not a big deal. I'm putting some coats of paint over these edges anyway, so don't worry. Just get that black on there. All right. Awesome. I'm just trying to fill in a little piece I had right there. Cool. So that's it so far. Now we're about to hook up these mountains. All right. So now what we're gonna do? So I need a little bit more space. So luckily I bought 2 of these cool little styrofoam plates. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make some gray, and it's gonna be a little bit of a darker tone of gray. Um, so we're only gonna use a little bit of white. So let's see. I'll show you what tone of gray we should be getting. Makes me laugh every time. It sucks. Wish I was more mature than this. Oh man. The little things in life, guys. Alright, let's see. So for starters, I just added like a quick little pump of black and white. The black's about the size of a quarter, and then the white would be probably considered like the size of a dime. So I'm just gonna mix those two. See what kind of gray I get. See if I gotta add more black or add more white. More than likely I'm gonna have to add more white. Yeah, just a tad bit more. Yeah, it's too light. So I'm gonna add about another dime's worth in there. Cool. Yeah, that's good. So I had about 2 dimes worth of paint. Don't add a full quarter, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, this is the way it's supposed to be looking right now. So it's hard to see, but it's particularly a lot lighter than, not a lot lighter, but it's a decent amount lighter than the black. Um, it just literally looks like probably like a good, maybe like 2 or 3 shades different than black. So yeah, just make sure you add a quarter of black and about 2 dime size dabs of white, and you'll get the gray that I'm working. All right. So now what you want to do is not this. We don't want all this paint on there, because all that paint came from us mixing. So, and I don't want to darken up the water just yet. Um, if you if your water's pretty messy, go change it, because we're gonna need it for the white. Actually, wait till we clean this brush off, and then we'll clean water one more time to put in that white. But yeah, so all I'm doing is just kind of painting my plate here, because I need a lot of this excess paint to come off. Because what we want to be able to do is we want to just take this amount of paint and just kind of brush it in. So yeah, I just want to be able to just kind of brush it in. See how it gets a little muddy? So that's what we want. We don't want a blob of paint on there. Alright, so the way we're going to separate these mountains is basically we're going to divide them down the half. So from this point down, you're going to draw your shadows going to the right. We are going to add shadows on the left, but they're not going to be as dominant as the shadows on the right. And these are just going to be the underlay for the snow. So just for right now, on every half of your mountain, focus on the right side of that mountain, okay? So All I'm going to be doing is putting a dab on an edge on half of that mountain and dragging it out. We want to kind of blend it out a little bit, but we do want it to look a little messy.
Mic off. Mic on.
You know, this is it is abstract, you know, so, and that's typically what I teach. So, um, yeah, we're just gonna be fearless and just stripe it in just like that. Oh, you guys can't really see that one right there, so let me start right here. Yeah, all we're doing is just kind of striping it in, and yeah, just be kind of, make sure it's the half, and just be kind of, you know, be a little reckless. Doesn't have to be perfect. You're just trying to get like a nice underlayer coat for that white there, and just make sure it's a little blended in. You don't want like a really harsh line. Now I'm using the flat side of the brush, so I'm coming at it from the side. Yeah, if you could see it in this area, that's just kind of just what we're looking for right there. So I'm gonna do it up here. And if you go over the black line, don't worry about it. That's fine, because we're gonna come back and clean that stuff up. Um, Now what I did in the middle of these two mountains, I'm creating like the little peak that it has. So like if this one if this right mountain is in front of this middle mountain, so there's going to be like a little division line here. It's going to stop at some point. It's not going to go all the way down the middle, you know? The shadow's not going to go all the way down the middle because this mountain is behind these two mountains on the left and right of it, okay? So yeah, just going to dabble it in a little bit. Same thing on this one. You're bringing the shadows in a little bit over that middle mountain. I know it's kind of hard to see, but just kind of pay attention to the areas that I am painting, and I'm not doing any like, how to explain, like kind of like a I'm not being straight on the side, and I'm not being like consistent with the line. I'm just being really random with the spots that I'm smudging, and I'm just kind of like brushing them in, you know. So let's see if you guys could get like a better view of that. There you go. Yeah, so like just like that. And now I'll probably mess this up. Hold on. Okay. Now on the left side of the mountain, it's gonna be random spots, and not as many as the right side. So there's gonna be a couple, because basically all you're gonna be doing is creating like those uneven pavements on the side of a mountain. You know, those different levels of the floor that come up and down. So, and I have not even touched the gray that I made to like dab back into it. So on this right one, on the right side, I only put a couple shadows because this left mountain, I'm gonna bring all the way to the front. So that means its shadows are gonna go all the way down to the floor there. Okay. So be mindful of that. You need to decide which mountain you want in the front. Which mountain do you want to be? Which mountain? Which Martin? Which mountain do you want to be on the in between those three mountains, and then obviously your middle mountain's gonna be the furthest back. So you're gonna want these shadows in your forefront mountain to have all the shadows running all the way down through. So this line here, this mountain here runs all the way down through, and then I'm just gonna add a couple shadows over here. And I'm literally just dabbing around, not being crazy, but make sure there is less shadows on the left side of your mountains than your right side of your mountains. The right side of your mountains are supposed to have a little bit more heavier shadows. So Cool. I think I'm happy with those right there. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna rinse, get some new water. Um, I only have white in there, so if I put this brush in there, it's going to turn it all black. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my thin brush out now before I put it in there. And then, because you could just wipe that paint off because the brush is so thin. On a brush like this, we gotta like literally go to the sink and wash it. So now for this with the white, we're gonna go with the same idea that we did for the gray with the white. We just want a little bit of white on there because we want to be able to just scrub it in. Um, we don't want to go in there with like a super prominent paint stroke. We want to kind of be able to brush it in there. The way to test that out, just kind of want to dab the paintbrush on whatever you're using to paint, and once you feel like it's light enough, then you can go in there. So we'll start in this middle mountain, um, and then we'll just kind of work our way through. So what I'm doing is creating the, hold on one quick second.
Mic off. Mic on.
All right, sorry about that. All right, so now, so we're gonna work down the center of the mountains. Okay, so follow that shadow line. If they're uneven, if they come in, they come out a little bit, that's perfect. That works out fine because you want to have that uneven texture on that corner of that mountain. Okay, so starting from the top, and I'm kind of just drawing out that first line down the side of the mountain. We can get a little bit more paint than that though. There you go. So yeah, we just want to kind of brush it down the side of that mountain for that first initial line, and then we'll just kind of work our way down. But you just want to scrub. You just want to brush out. But you don't want your lines to be even. You kind of want them to come in and out. And if it starts to blend in a little bit, it's not a big deal. It's actually works a little bit. Works a little in your favor. But what you do want to be careful of is when that does start to happen, it doesn't stay in your brush because see how it just turned that white gray? So I don't want that to continue to happen. So that's when you'll need to like wash your brush off and start over. Because we already have gray shadows in there. We need that white highlight. And this is going to be the last thing we have to do. So if you're tired or you're getting restless, we're almost done, dude. Don't worry. So yeah, just scrub. That's all we're doing here. We're just bringing out these strokes here, adding some snow. Now make sure that the highlights are going in the direction of your mountain, okay? So if it's going this way, make sure your lines are going in that direction. Like on this one, the lines are going to go a little bit down, straight down more, you know? And then this one, they're going to go along this line. And remember, you're just working on half of the mountain, not the whole thing. And you do want to do like some random parts too that are veered off. So like, You know, they don't have to connect, but they're just there, you know. And like I said, you don't want it to be like a straight line down. You kind of want it to come follow that guideline, but it's gonna come in and out, okay? So it doesn't need to be perfect if you're not. If not being perfect, it's alright. This actually works in that favor. And you could do like little small breaks and stuff. They don't have to always be touching. And I'm just going back now and trying to like blend those lines out a little bit more. And again, this doesn't need to go all the way down to the bottom. Like I'm gonna have it like taper off like around here. Like it's just gonna stop. And we're just scrubbing. We're just making random little lines, just grabbing it. And just push it out to the right side of your mountain there. That's our first mountain. I'll create like a little another little bump here. Alright, start on this middle mountain, see what happens. If you want to watch me do the middle mountain first before you start, that's completely cool too. Like I said, if it's not perfect, it's completely fine. You kind of don't want it to be perfect. And it's supposed to be like off in the distance, so it's not going to always be this snow isn't going to be like highly detailed, you know? It's supposed to be just like a highlight. I don't know why I'm jumping. Sorry. sure your lines are just random. Doesn't look like there's like a pattern or anything. Or if it's just not just like a bunch of like straight lines or just a bunch of the same dabs over and over, you know, you don't want to do that. You want it to look completely random and natural. As I get towards the bottom of the mountain right here, I kind of like start straightening out my lines. Just that top part, I start bringing it out towards the alignment of the mountain. And this is where the two mountains meet, so I'm just gonna do like a light highlight around there. Wanna like, there we go. Wanted to blend that out a little bit more. Coat. Alright, let's work on this last mountain. Don't need it to be straight or even on top. If it comes off the mountain a little bit, that's completely fine. It's gonna give it more of a rocky, edgy feel anyways. I'm gonna have a slight highlight coming off that edge there. Just keep working your way down that center of the mountain. It's a big mountainside, so might want to add a couple ones that are off the mountain there, off the mountain edge. I don't like this. I'm gonna blur it out a little bit. So all I'm doing to blur it out is I'm just taking the paint that is there and just dragging it out more and more. And in some spots too, you might want to like just add like a dash, maybe add like a dot or two. I don't like the way that middle mountain came out that much. And if you do get to something that you just absolutely don't like, you can't live with it, just take black, wait for it to finish drying, take black, and just cover that part back up that you don't like. But you got to do the whole process again. Then you got to come back with the gray, add those gray shadows again, and then come back with the white to do those highlights. So just keep that in mind if you are going to do that, okay? I feel like these got a little too muddy. Like there's like too much gray going on. And I want more of like a white. So I'm just going to go create some thin lines on top of that gray, give it that white highlight. Again, I'm not being like precise or anything. It's just random. I like that a little bit better. And yeah, you know, once the mountains start crossing each other, you really don't need to go into like this area over here where this one crosses over this one. You don't need to keep following that. Alright. And I think that's it, guys. I think that is everything. Let's see. I feel like that left mountain probably needs just like a random hill, like in the lower left one, but it's alright. If you want to do it, go for it. Not stopping you. You just do a little random triangles to represent your little mountain that's in front, like if you did it in this area right here. So you just add like a little top with white to make it look like there's another mountain, like in the other one I did, in the reference I did. But yeah, this is it, guys. Well, hopefully you followed through and you completed the painting with me. Oops, sorry. I'm trying to stop it from like moving so much. There you go. Alright, I'm gonna pop back up on the bottom of your screen here. What's up? So yeah, that's it. That is our mountain with some trippy stuff going on in the background there in the sky. Some stars shooting around and stuff. It's cool. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. Um, for those of you that did come check out the stream, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys are all being safe and being courteous out there. Keep your head up for sure, and keep doing your thing. Keep trying to find things to take your mind off of stuff, and this definitely helps me. So I hope I get to help you guys a little bit with this. And I hope you're not too affected by this situation. I hope you still have your job. If you don't, I completely understand. So, but we will prosper. We'll keep going. We'll get through this stuff together. So stay tuned. I'll probably be streaming again. Maybe what's today? Wednesday. I'll probably be streaming again. Maybe Friday, maybe Saturday. Just check my social medias for updates. Um, it's gonna be Friday or Saturday for sure though. It's gonna be one of those two. Um, but yeah, let's keep it going. Donations are welcome, of course. Um, hit me up if you need my information. If you want to make a donation, I believe they're in my actual channel description. There should be my donation button there, so you can also donate through I think PayPal. So yeah, just go ahead and hit me up. If you went along and painted with me, please send me a picture of what you painted. I'm excited to see them. I actually really like this painting a lot. It actually came out pretty cool. The snow could use a little bit more work for me, but I mean, I'm still really satisfied with it. I like it. I hope you're satisfied with yours. So yeah, just check in with me and let's have a let's have a good rest of the week, guys. All right, I'll see you guys later. Peace.